Well, I walked off the field with Tony Romo after the pregame warm-ups. I said, what's going through your mind? He said, a lot of excitement. I'm just anxious to get going. I said, what are you going to do in the last few minutes before you come out? He said, I'm just going to pretend like it's practice, go through my reads, and just make my final adjustments.
Then with the New York Giants, Bill Parcells, his 4th season at Dallas, and here we go from Charlotte, North Carolina. Richard Marshall from the 7-yard line brings it back up to the 32-yard, and the Panthers are last in the league in converting on 3rd down this season. 3rd and long here, and Delhomme is under pressure and has to throw it away. So here comes Tony Romo, and here is the Dallas offense. The running game, Romo, 4 years with the Cowboys, but his first start out of Eastern Illinois, and he begins from the 25-yard line after he played the entire second half last week against the Giants. They'll go right to the air, and so far so good as he goes right to Owens, who breaks a tackle and then gets forced out of bounds.
Ball's coming out. 2nd down and 3.
Romo slides to his right, and that pass is caught by Anthony Fasano.
Shot running. Block, offense, number 65 and number 21, 15-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So instead of a first down, it is 2nd down and 18 from the 17-yard line. Against a 4-man line and a 4-man rush, and Romo throws to the outside, and he goes right back in the draft.
And this is where he is tough on this down in this situation.
3rd and 10, and Romo cannot get rid of it. Tony Romo early in the first quarter from the 36-yard line. This drive begins with Foster running through the middle, and most of the Panthers running this season has 3 rating on 3rd down. You're not going to convert very often. Here it's 3rd down and 10. He's under pressure. He throws off his back foot, and the pass is underthrown and incomplete. Terrence Newman is there, but Oliver Hoyt gets reset. Then they give the ball to Julius Jones, and Julius Jones takes it all as at the 31. Jones again. Stop behind the line of scrimmage.
That was probably close to the right answer, wasn't it?
Perfect and hysterical. 2nd and 12, and Romo's going to take off and gets out to the, and as Parcells said, confident but not cocky, and you could just feel it. 3rd down and 7, rolling, going to run again. He's going to pick up the 1st down. Knew exactly where he had
that side now.
He gets 9 on the 3rd and 7. Quickly to Owens, and Owens gets by Gable into Carolina territory, and finally run out of bounds by Minton. First incompletion. Romo has 3 of his first 4, and he has 2 runs. It's 3rd down and 8. And the play clock out of the shotgun. Owens and Creighton stack as receivers to the right. Romo looked that way, then to the left, and that pass is not caught by Terry. Jack came over from the Colts. Romo is the holder, and Vanderjagt's kick hits the upright. It looked like it was starting to hook back in.
A lot of the time either, and they leave themselves in 3rd and long.
On 2nd down and 6 now. Delhomme will throw. That is caught near side, and that is Michael Gaines fighting for the extra yardage. 6'3", 280. So lineman size, tough to bring down. Ball at the 37. Delhomme buying a ton of time with the fake, then has to throw underneath, and it's Foster who makes the catch. And
again, the Panthers would have won that game. I thought the last team that had the ball was going to win that Super Bowl.
And it turned out to be the Patriots. Now Delhomme's going to throw for Johnson, and Johnson will draw the penalty. That was Anthony Henry, who 20-yard penalty. The ball is at the 7. It's 1st down and goal. The fake to Foster, then the pass to Foster, which he makes off his side, the 1. 2nd down and goal, and they give it to Foster, and Foster tries to bull his way in. Touchdown. Only needed about. And Giants right now, they're in 3rd place in a tough division, trailing New Orleans, which lost today, and Atlanta, which won today at Cincinnati. And Romo throws, and Witten makes the catch. And there's
offense, number 65, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Actually along that defensive front. 2nd down and 19. Romo throws. Wide open is Owens at the 31-yard line. Well, they've got Glenn on him right now, but Romo is not looking that way yet, and then has it tipped, and Gable, can he get control of it before he steps out of bounds? The head linesman is there to say yes. The interception, Owens is going to plead the case. And Gamble comes up. Does he? When does he have possession? Not yet.
No,
not
he
yet.
doesn't.
There. And if they want to challenge,
you can see that likely he did have both feet in.
So now from the 24, they run Smith on an end around, and he'll get inside the 10 and go all the way to the end zone for the touchdown. Second rushing touchdown of Smith's career. The first of 3 straight road games for the Cowboys. From the 1-yard line, Tyson Thompson. And Thompson will give them some decent field position up at close to the 40-yard line, and even better now because Carl Hank.
You are.
Maybe the best word to describe the way he looked last week was exasperated. Here's Jones. It was John Madden, Andrea Kramer, and Charlotte. Cowboys on 2nd and 10. Romo throwing to the outside. Glenn goes up for the catch, and
himself. They're going to give him help somewhere.
2nd-round draft choice from Fresno State, and this time it's Glenn. And Marshall was playing him. 2nd down, make it 7. They'll spot the ball at the 10-yard line. Romo throws over the middle, hits Owens, and Owens will pick up the first down.
He's out of there quickly.
On a 3, 1st and goal. Romo for Owens, and that's knocked down to the left, and Owens at the top of the screen to the right. And this time he goes to Witten for the touchdown. Threw it off his back shoulder. Minter with the coverage. You had the safety on the tight end, and a touchdown for Romo and the Cowboys.
I thought he had to turn and make that catch.
Witten's Dallas to kick off. 5-yard line. Richard Marshall, who we saw at quarterback, loses the ball. The ball is loose. The Cowboys still can't pick it up, and at the very end, in comes Gaines to recover it at the 11-yard line. The tight end, Oliver Hoyt, created the 14-7 Carolina. Foster tucks it back, has some room, and gets banged down.
He mixes his ends up. I mean, he mixes his formations up all the time.
3rd down and 1, and the pass out here in the flat. That's going to net a first down to Deshaun Foster, and he gets taken. It's happened since 1970, since the merger. Pressure, and down he goes in the arms of Greg Ellis, and Ellis tries running for the moment. They do credit him with a sack, and Delhomme now on 3rd down and 9, and that is caught by Chris Mangum, the tight end, and that's what sets him apart. Competitive greatness. He always wants the ball. A lot of receivers do. Smith gets it here, and Henry makes a nice tackle. Just Cowboys, and that's what he is right now. The ball is at the 12-yard line. 1st down. Romo to Fasano. A lot of that, of course, has to do with history. Talking
Cowboys, and your girlfriend breaks up with you on the phone from Florida.
That's what I was wondering about. 2nd down and 5. Here's Owens. Out of bounds. I mean,
open, and you're going to pile on.
And we really opened up that pile here by doing this tonight up to the 30-yard line.
Favre imitation.
2nd down and 3. Off the fake. That buys a ton of time. And then the pass is caught by Brett's watching.
You know, sometimes when you copy a guy, you just don't copy one thing about him. You copy everything about him.
Yeah. Here's Jones exploiting.
And what he does in these situations like this.
3rd down and 2 from the 49-yard line. Well, there again, the look of a guy who knows exactly. 3rd and 7. Romo stepping up in the pocket and then hits Witten. And Witten will take the ball to the 30-yard line.
Deep pattern.
3rd catch for Witten, and he has scored the only Dallas touchdown. 1st down here, and they're going to give the ball to Terry Glenn, but that is sniffed out. Taken down to 45 seconds. 2nd and 13. Romo down the left sideline, and that one is out of
2 bad ups in a row.
Right now that field goal range is 50 yards if they don't gain a yard here, but they will. And will not get the first down, though Glenn. Vanderjagt earlier missed a 48. And this one, you've got a timeout here. You've got Marshall and Peppers coming in. Peppers known.
Could happen here tonight.
Here's a 38-yard attempt. And that one is right down Broadway for Vanderjagt. So the Dallas Cowboys for 17. has his team back in the game after they were down 14-0. Now the Panthers will let Foster pretty much.
Tony Romo is the real deal, and the Cowboys can get one here.
And they go to Smith, and that'll look good on the stat sheet, but that's all. This would be an NFL record of 65 yards. Instead, you're going to get a run back here or a fumble as Aaron Glenn. And Bill Parcells' heart is in his throat right now. I think he just wants to see Glenn just go down, which he does. Rushing about equal. Dallas a little bit more through the air and in total yardage. And the Romo stepping up. There's a flag. Owens makes the catch, and with that spin move, picks up.
Because this will be the third
75
one.
offense. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, they keep the tight end on that side a lot, too, to give him help in this situation.
2nd and 20. Romo hanging right in and guns it over the middle. Throws a strike to Terry Glenn.
So I've been impressed with everything that Tony Romo's done.
Hangs in again, under pressure. Here's Owens, and Owens is able to.
We've seen Terry Glenn in the backfield. I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere we see Terrell Owens back there.
And as you saw, he ties Michael Irvin and Charlie Joyner, 750 career catches, and they're 751, but that's not.
You don't know what he does as a starter.
Julius Peppers just injured his hand and came out after the last play when Romo spun away from him, and then Romo buys time, but nobody is there.
Cook pulled pork.
I'm buying it. 2nd and 7. Thank you, Julia Child. Here is Deshaun Foster up to the. What have they been doing? Well, Jake Delhomme, 79 yards. 9 out of 14. Deshaun Foster, 35 yards. It's a 3.2 average. And Steve Smith.
Have to get their wide receivers more involved in this game.
3rd and 5 is Delhomme. Pulls it down, and then the pass is incomplete. The crowd wants a flag. They don't get one. Delhomme pleads the case, and then it comes in at the very end. It came in about 5 or 6 seconds later.
Anthony Henry has been very consistent.
Number 20, number 41, first down.
And then a good 5 seconds after the play. 31-yard line, first down. Delhomme throws, and the catch is made by Key. Stopped and makes the catch, and the ball is at the 50-yard line. 8:15 to play in the 3rd. Foster to the outside. Four-man rush. They get to Delhomme, but he gets it off. And the pass intended for Keyshawn Johnson is incomplete. The timeout. 3rd down and 5 now for the Panthers. Blitz on. Penalty flag thrown. Steve Smith can't get there.
Offsides.
Come on, Tony.
Number 94, 5-yard penalty. First down.
Will the Cowboys come? Yes, they do. Delhomme throws, and it's dropped. It's Keyshawn Johnson who Jones. You know what's amazing? Tony Romo.
Good coaches. You know, there was a time in the NFL that you never looked at anyone that come from a college that had East in front of it.
Yeah, this is
in pro football that you have to have. You have to be able to make a decision and get the ball out of there quickly.
And there goes Jones with some tough 50-yard line. Romo to the outside, and that's caught by Fasano.
Part of that is the offensive line, and maybe a bigger part of that is Romo.
Shotgun, 3rd and 2. Romo throws, and it's incomplete, intended for Owens. And following Sunday, Bears Giants here on NBC as Delhomme goes back on 1st down and throws and finds the open man who is Steve Smith. Ball at the 40-yard line. Toss back Foster. Some room to the edge each other the last couple of years when Keyshawn was with the Cowboys. 3rd down and 3. And Delhomme sends one into the night sky that is incomplete.
That is really tough to block.
The 5 receivers in this set. Romo out of the shotgun. Romo has time. Romo hits Witten. And Witten takes it out to the in the game on 1st down here. Hoyt is the fullback, and they toss it to Barber. Some of the former New York Jets of the 3rd quarter. And now he starts the 4th with a run that should be. Romo. The open man is Witten again. So Witten having 2nd and 8 out of the shotgun. Romo, a lot of time, dumps it off to Barber underneath. And Barber will get inside the 15 before he
Or close to it.
3rd and inches. And Barber gets the first down. And Barber takes the ball inside the 10, and the flag comes in at the end of the play.
Offense, number 81, 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
3rd down and 7. The ball is at the 19-yard line. Panthers show blitz. Did they come across the line?
Second, you're probably going to get it on 3rd.
Center, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
With the crowd roaring. Tony steps away, moves the shoulders, throws, caught, 10-yard line, Jason Witten. I mean, that's a play a great veteran quarterback makes. Feels the pressure and goal. That was a 16-yard gain on a 3rd and 12. Now you've got Barber, who gets
listed as a tight end, but Parcells will tell you he's really a fullback.
2nd and goal. Romo to the outside, and that is caught there by Fasano. But he's going to be taken down.
Really like to run the quarterback.
And Romo is just the guy to do it. 3rd down and goal. Fake to Barber. To his left he goes, and then the pass is off the hand.
Go to him.
24-yard attempt. Romo holds. Vanderjagt's kick is good. Moist.
No, pulled pork is a lot better than pork chops.
Much better. Much better. Bouncing kick. Fielded inside the 10-yard line, and going back to get it was Brad Hoover. And the ball is loose at the 15-yard line. And the Dallas Cowboys have recovered. So the kick bouncing around, and again, Carolina with trouble.
We have to look for an excuse that it's not a fumble. Looks like Hoover's knee. It looks like it was down before the ball comes out. There's the knee is down now. And I don't know where the ball is.
Well, I think it's very close, and you're going to get green.
The ruling on the field stands. Carolina is charged with a 2nd timeout.
We were looking at it during the commercial.
And I'd like to get back in football where a fumble is a fumble, and that was a fumble.
That was a fumble. Julius Jones is back in the game. Jones, a burst through the middle into the end zone. And the Dallas Cowboys have erased a 14-point deficit and lead 19-14. Tony Romo out of the shotgun for the 2-point conversion. Fake draw, throws, converts to Owens for 2 points. So Terrell Owens now.
Yet has he since he dropped that one?
No, he said he was. There's Johnson in motion. 3 receivers to the right. Delhomme looking that way. Delhomme sends one to the sideline, and then
like that up on top.
4 receivers set. Barber flanks Romo in the backfield, and they blitz. That line again does a good job, and the catch is made by Owens, who gets free at midfield before he steps out of bounds at the 40.
Outside receivers open when they kept him outside, but that was a good way to get him open.
28-yard gain. Owens in his first game as a Cowboy over 100 yards tonight. And then Jones gets knocked back by Chris Draft numbers, and they've thrown to him 16 times.
Well, that's pretty good, and that's what
in regulation from the 44-yard line. 4-man rush. Romo finally gets taken down. Mike Rucker, the first guy to get there, number 92-yard line.
He's going to return anything.
Yep, and he's a guy who can. And this is a line drive that he can't handle at the 6-yard line. The ball is loose again, and it is all the Panthers can do to maintain possession as Richard Marshall in together. And they haven't tonight either. 2nd down and 6. Delhomme under pressure, throws into traffic, and it is picked off by Roy Williams. Double coverage along the far sideline, and Roy Williams was
pass here. And now he has to kind of step sideways to throw that. Didn't get a lot on it. There's the double coverage. You see the short guy, and you see the deep guy, Roy Williams, catching the ball. That's why the defense looks tired.
3rd down and 8. At worst, a chip shot field goal attempt. At best, a first down and maybe a touchdown. to come.
See,
It'll
and
be a first.
as I said, this defense is a worn-down defense.
First and goal from the 3. Here's Barber. And he gets into the end zone. Which is not the worst thing that can happen to Carolina at this point because they were up against.
You have them, they're on your heels, and you're going to go get them.
And you saw that graphic. I mean, Parcells has not had a win of this type.
Look at the two of them.
Since '86 as the coach of the Giants trail on your next 2 Sunday nights.
Right, and you know, when you talk about the best quarterbacks in football, it's either Brady or Manning, and next Sunday night we have both of them.
Meanwhile, you had Ellis coming in, creating fourth quarter alone. Barber. So for the
right, and he had to come in here and have this kind of game, and you know, you don't feel that this is a lucky one, and he's not going to have it. I mean, we're going back in the archives. We got Fred Godelli and Drew Esicott there. We're thumbing through the archives as Marion Barber is going to take this one into the end zone. Well, you see that, and he stayed in bounds, and more backs ought to learn that from Marion Barber, right? Everything smells pretty good right now in that Cowboy sideline. Yeah. Coming into this with the quarterback, the bad loss, the coach being upset.
And 3rd down and 5 with the ball at the 31-yard line. Delone to Smith.
14, what are you going to do? You have a play that scores 20 points?
It's 4th and 1, and it's happened too. At the 40-yard line, 1st and 10. Gaines. Now, Mr. Owens, Terrell Owens, he's kind of moved into the background a little bit here. I mean, it was all T.O. all the time, and now he's like a secondary figure.
Well, and now with the win, he'll be a thirdary because, you know, it went from T.O. to the quarterback, and now both of those are going to be in the back burner.
Aiken Adele will end the game with a Dallas sack, 35 unanswered.